Hello, my name is Francis Fox, and I am a trained government remote viewer. All my psychic skills have been trained, honed, statistically analyzed. From what I understand, I'm still an experiment for the US government. My entire life totally controlled. A little bit tired of that. Well, here I am as a well disciplined mind control victim who was sex trafficked and a lot of other things that are even worse than that. I'm here to contribute towards peace on earth and goodwill to all men. In this particular case, my center is the United States. So, yes, I'm very much under the weather. I'm being trashed through black magic, spell work, threats, blackmail, by not just one group, by many groups, and other groups that watch me. And I don't need to know, or they don't need to say anything, but I know they're not happy and it's problematic. So, if you notice me different, that is the reason. I'm going to go ahead and do the maths. I'm not really into the gossip and to all the other stuff that I try to make my podcast chats lighter, not just heavy. Um, but I'm going to skip that today because we are in a very interesting time. I have the three maps behind me, but I'm going to pull them up one by one. And I'm going to start with Washington, D.C., because I understand that 9/11, there should be ceremonies. So this is the map. Remember, I do these maps, I don't think, and then when I finish them, I go on to the next thing because I don't want to end up being thoughtful rather than intuitive. So, on the map at the upper top, something park, I'm not sure, there's a spiraling of anger counterclockwise. So, anger is grounding and landing. Also, in the absolute center, I have no idea what's there, and that's as it should be. I don't need to know what's there. I'm looking at the other dimensions and I'm giving you that information. At the right part of the map, there's those three arrows and it says airplanes and bombs. Is that possible? Trump? I don't know. Did you have the ceremonies already today for 9/11? I have no idea. Anyway, since last night, I picked up that the whole Charlie Kirk situation is the beginning of a whole plan where they're going to murder people from both sides of the aisle, which means Democrats and Republicans, which is going to leave everybody extremely confused. Let me see if I can do this. Nope, that won't let me do that. So, but these people they're sending are going to be robots and they're going to be mainly females. So, whoever it is that's working for security for Washington, D.C., but the rest of the country needs to know that there is going to be disproportionately female robots sent in to create chaos, I pronounce it in Spanish, to kill important people from both sides of the aisle. In that way, they create what I have known for a long time that the bad ETs want to create, which is a total lack of trust. Nobody is going to trust even their own mother from here forth. Not good news. Okay. So Washington, D.C. is particularly targeted today. Um, let's go ahead to the Pacific map. Why is it not up here? I have the U.S. map up twice. Let me go get the Pacific map. Oh, I remember I couldn't find it. Hmm. Give me a second. Nope. Interesting. Well, I'm going to hold it up because I know everybody's very impatient. They don't want to have to wait for anything. Um, nope. Darn. It's on screen. Let's see if we can see it. There it is, right next to me. It's right on screen. That portal in the Pacific that was important with the earthquake in Russia that caused the potential tsunamis. The Mantrista movement, we worked with the elements to stop the force of the tsunamis, and we mission accomplished. Um, it is it was aligned with Sagittarius, supermassive black hole Sagittarius within days, I think, and that was a problem. So we closed that, or we cut the invasion, the intrusion, and then everything was fine because if we had really totally connected with Sagittarius supermassive black hole, the whole planet would have gone even deeper into darkness. So when I sketched today, I was puzzled. I sketched it actually the other day, and it was this same spiral, and it was a good portal for the ascension process, I believe, to Jupiter. So that means that portals can be good and bad, which takes me to the demand that I have to the Cuban mafia, Rene de Villegas in Miami, and the US government. His property in Miami is a portal that he opened because of all the god awful black magic, Egyptian voodoo, Santeria. I want that property because my group worked with it and we were able to several times convert it into a positive portal. This that I'm sketching here in the Pacific is something that I wasn't that aware of, but that is actually very beautiful. So we are aligned with this portal for ascension, but it's closing today, which matches what a lot of people are saying about from the 8th, I think, until today or until yesterday. Very important days in the history of planet Earth. I was told when I was doing these maps, because I really didn't want to be here, that these maps may be held in high regard decades from now. So I don't know what it is that would be on it. Now, there is a portal. It's actually in the Gulf of Mexico. I'm not sure that I sketched it wrong. Did it move? I don't know. Um, but that portal is a grounding of green energy. I'm looking at which way it spirals in. And so that's good, but it's open. Um, that one stays open. The one in the Pacific closes today. Okay, so now let's go to the United States and let's see if I have the right map up. No, darn it. Is this it? This is it. This is today's map of the United States. I expected to see sheer misery, red, hate, not getting that. The Gulf of Mexico has the pyramids that stabilize. Florida is doing really good. I don't know if they finally caught up with sex trafficking stuff. I don't know. The east coast of Texas looks great. I think that's where Elon is. Why the west coast doesn't look great, I don't know. Mexico is clearing. Lots of black magic, but not as much as before. Canada's dead but angry. I don't know what that means. Somebody else who knows politics or whatever. But there are two hot spots in the United States. And by the way, they're making sense to me now. They didn't make sense. First place, I do the map without the states on them because I don't want to be influenced. So I drew those two hot spots. And the one in the center is Kansas, the Wizard of Oz, the deepest mind control program of the US military, which is controlled by the deep state. That's a hotspot right now. And then right on the border of Idaho, Oregon, and Nevada, I didn't even know what states were there, you have another hotspot. But I suspect that hotspot, plus the hotspot in Kansas, has to do with alien invasion, the ET showing up, not disclosure, maybe also disclosure about the fact that ETs have always existed, there's always been here, there's more of them coming. I don't think it's disclosure. I think it's really activity, increased activity in that arena, which is front and center today. So, where are we at? I don't know, but I was told that these maps would be significant for a very long time. So you figure it out. I deliver the information. I cannot do anything about it. I cannot even do anything about my own situation. I am still here working for free with inadequate protection and basically zero future because I am making so many people angry with the stuff that I'm pointing out that I can't imagine where it is that I'm going to have to move to. Trump, it would be great. I mean, the United States is looking great. Is my life looking great? I don't think so. Am I being selfish talking about me? I don't think so. I think all of you are selfish. I don't even get comments from you. I don't get emails. I don't get people asking, how are you doing, Francis? I'm talking zero. So, no, I'm not being selfish talking about myself. I am getting very cranky. I don't want to work for free anymore. It's only been 77 years. I was born into a research hospital. I'm like a little robot. And I think at some point this needs to turn around, or I'm not going to be delivering information again. I'm over it. I'm noticing the comment I put, mission accomplished with the Kirk murder. This was a mission, not at the level of whoever did the shooting, but at a much higher level. This was ordered. It was accomplished. I was going to sketch the shooter, but it doesn't really matter because I know that the shooter is going to be a mind control victim. Now, you don't have to have been inside a military base like I was and been controlled your physical body forever in order to be a mind control victim. Due to electronics and people's lack of sophistication about what electronics can do, they can turn anybody into a Manchurian candidate. So you should have figured it out before. I certainly have done a lot of screaming since the 90s. I was classified as crazy. The FBI paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to trash my reputation, to leave me totally isolated, and they accomplished their mission. So, why on earth do we think that an institution such as the FBI can help us out today when it was their job to make sure that we all stayed asleep? They all knew about the mind control program. Be careful trusting people that have been within the FBI and they didn't know anything about this. Well, that would mean they never went to a single important meeting because this is all the mind control program is all over the map, but not just in the United States. So that makes me a little bit less ashamed of the fact that this reached this point. There was one more thing I had to say. Give me a moment until I retrieve the information. The whole thing was Satanism. You need to start preparing people for that. The first place, it all has to do with black magic at the deepest level. And it all has to do with putting people in a state of shock. Because that certainly goes against the grain of human beings. To witness somebody being murdered in a ritual, babies eating them, drinking the blood, of course. So you need to become spiritually sophisticated, Trump, having to do with the thing with the Satanism, so that when the invisible strings and web of Satanism come out, having to do with the power structure, military, economic, social, artists, the artistic community, when it comes out, so that you don't lose people because they go into shock. Get them used to it. In the Catholic Church, in the Mass, you drink the blood of Christ and you eat the bread of His body. I guess. Well, I certainly we shouldn't be promoting any of that, but there needs to be a campaign, a psychological campaign, based on softening the blow to the public, because when it comes up, they're going to go into shock. And that is exactly what whoever it is controlling us, whether it's deep state in terms of physical bodies on planet Earth, or it's the bad ETs that are the opposite of the Galactic Federation. Humans can't take that. They can't take it, which is a good sign for humans. But it's not a good sign if that's going to be part of Revelations. And then people just go deeper into asleep, to being asleep. So I'm going to sign off for now. At some point, I will maybe sketch the shooter, but it's not important because it's the same thing. So, bottom line today, and this happened several months ago, but it was softer. And it was shift was around still very active. Don't see him. My handler, I think, was removed from my hips with my mantra, which is basically, even though I'm afraid and I hate men, which left me fragmented in the part of the body that has to do with male female. And there's someone knocking at the door. Give me 1 second. They will have to wait. I don't know who would be knocking at my door that I could actually open the door to. So there's a plan. And the plan was started several months ago and then it calmed down and it was triggered. And the trigger yesterday, the go point was killing Kirk. They're going to kill people on both sides of the aisle. And what they're looking for is total chaos and nobody being able to trust anyone. So compassion might be important. Thank you for joining me. And please share, like, subscribe, even though none of the platforms